But speaking of movies that aren't talked about as much,
Yeah.
our last classic review of the night is The Running Man.
Yes, The Running Man, Arnold. Yeah, the classic. Well, I don't know, if classic's the right word, but definitely well received sci-fi action dystopian movie based on a novel written by Richard Bachman, aka Stephen King. It's takes place in the distant future of 2017.
What, you don't remember the death games all over the place and the people in ridiculous armor?
No, I don't remember that at all. Although I will say, to this movie's credit, it did predict some things. I mean, it did like voice activated like TVs and stuff, deep fakes, reality TV, although not quite like like it is in this movie, but
Yeah, like this version of reality TV does resemble 80s like talent or variety shows, or
yeah.
maybe if I watched more wrestling, I would immediately get that this was supposed to be like American wrestling, because it seems like a
Yeah.
lot of the same principles behind it.
Yeah, yeah, especially with the stalkers. Yeah. And I was also getting a little bit of American Gladiators
Oh yeah.
feel with it too.
But it's also like it actually, I kind of wonder if they cribbed a little bit of the style of this movie for Demolition Man. Just like, instead of him waking up in an awful dystopian future, Demolition Man is him, or is a future that's just too squeaky clean. But the opening is actually, I kept thinking of Demolition Man. Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah. So the basic premise of the movie is it's like I said, it's this dystopian world where it's just everything is controlled by the government, and you've got Arnold Schwarzenegger's character Ben Richards, who in the beginning of the movie he's a cop and a helicopter pilot, and he's ordered to take out a bunch of civilians who are protesting because
There's
they're
a food riot. Yeah.
food riot. Yeah. And he's ordered to take them out, but he's like, no, I'm not firing on innocent civilians. And then the members of his crew, relieve him of command and knock him out. And but then the rioters do end up getting taken out, but he's blamed for it and ends up in prison. But then he and a couple other people in the prison, they get together, they get out, and but as as Ben Richards is trying to get out, he goes to his brother's apartment, only to find that a woman is living there. Ember Mendez, played by Maria Conchita Alonso. Hopefully, I got that right.
I don't think I've ever seen her in anything before, but she was really good in this.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. And so he tries to use her. They can't travel without these like travel passes, and so he tries to travel. Get her to basically kidnaps her so they can go to Hawaii. But then she rats him out, and then he gets arrested. And instead of going back to prison, the host of the Running Man reality death game, who's played by Richard Dawson, who was the host of Family Feud, I believe.
That explains how he works so perfectly.
Oh yeah. But he decides he wants to put Ben Richards in the game, in the Running Man. And of course, to really ensure his cooperation, he also kidnaps his two buddies from prison and puts them in the games as well. And then we're off from there, where Schwarzenegger has to stay alive, fighting off these different pro wrestling like stalker guys who have all these different weapons and can, kind of something. It had a kind of a comic book vibe to it, where they're like, the way that they dressed and their weapons and everything.
Yeah, it's interesting because I felt like I was watching a '90s Image comic book the whole time. Arnold's onesie jumpsuit here. There are a lot of Rob Liefeld characters that I just kept thinking of.
Mhm.
Like it's
Yeah,
kind of like the same sort of counter shading as Deadpool has in some ways.
yeah, yeah. Um, and Arco says it's one of his favorite Governor movies, up there with Conan and Total Recall. Yeah, I can see why. Yeah.
Yeah,
We were actually talking before the show that when people talk about Arnold's filmography, this movie usually doesn't come up very much.
well, when you get down to it, it's just a very straightforward, kind of silly movie.
Yeah.
But it feels like I feel like it's silly it is silly in the right way. Like it understands the assignment.
Yeah.
It has enough. The government is awful enough that you know that they're a big threat because they have the first part of the movie where, they're in the prison. They show people getting their heads exploded when they try to flee with their limiters turned on
Yeah.
before they're able to disable them. So, and you know that people are going into these gladiator rings and dying. So it's like you haven't undermined the villains.
Yeah.
Um, Also, I feel like the Running Man games would be at once. Uh, it's like very high budget, but also like all of the costumes are very silly and low budget and kind of slapped together.
Yeah. 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 They
Like the
yeah.
Dynamo over here with his Christmas tree lights all over him.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
forget the name of the chainsaw guy, but like, sorry, I was just thinking about the way he got dispatched.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
That was actually kind of a theme this week, as both of our shared movies had scenes where somebody took damage to a certain area and had a very high pitched voice.
Yes. Yeah, they were singing soprano.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, and of course, two of the other stalkers were played by well-known professional athletes or retired professional athletes. You had I think it was Fireball, I think was his name. And he was played by Jim Brown, who was running back for the Cleveland Browns, and he's widely considered one of well, actually, I think before Tom Brady, he was considered the greatest football player of all time. And he was playing in an era of the NFL where like the NFL we know now didn't exist. It was like before that, and before the NFL we know now. That was when he was playing. It was like in the 50s. And then Jesse Ventura plays the what was his name? Captain Freedom, was that it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
That was actually my only. So this was the second time I've seen this movie, and that was actually my complaint about this movie the first time, is that they were kind of hyping the fight between Jesse Ventura and Arnold the whole time.
Yeah.
But they never actually really met face to face, or I should say, they never really fought.
No, they don't. Yeah, that was that was part of the whole like plot of the movie to show like how deceptive the show and the government is that they deep faked a stunt double over with Arnold, and then the stunt double is the one who gets killed, and actually the guy who's the stunt double is actually Arnold's stunt double. Was his actual stunt double. Yeah. But yeah, that was kind of disappointing. Yeah, that we didn't actually get that fight. And I didn't really get the whole scene where he walks into the control room and he's wearing like a bunch of like kitchen appliances.
Oh, I think that was supposed to be what the costume and equipment they were giving him.
Oh, okay. And
he's like, I don't need any of this stuff.
Yeah. Okay. But trying to remember what else. Oh, another guy I did. So the other part of it too is there is a resistance movement that is fighting back against the government, and I guess the leader of that group was a guy named Mick, and he's played by Mick Fleetwood of Fleetwood Mac.
That is such random casting.
It is, yeah.
I did not realize that.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing his name in the credits, and then I saw him. He's the guy who's like taking the collars off their necks, and I was kind of looking at him like, wait, is that Mick Fleetwood? And then he mentioned like his music getting censored, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's
Well, he actually is him.
Yeah.
You know what? I could actually see Stephen King writing that character in the book originally.
Yeah, I could too. Yeah.
And that being an inside joke, and somebody, when they're making the movie, they said, can we actually get him?
Yeah. But yeah, and then also too, one of the like his buddy in the movie, Schwarzenegger's buddy in the movie, was one of it was Yaphet Kotto, who most people remember from Alien. He was Parker in Alien. He was the guy who was always saying, "Oh, we can't be doing this," and then the other guy would be like, "Yeah, right, yeah, right." But yeah, I mean, this was I think your critique is accurate. I mean, this is a solid entertaining action, dystopian movie. You know what you're getting into with it, and it's not it does have some of the sci-fi elements that you would expect for like, to kind of like with a little bit of the commentary like you would see in like a Paul Verhoeven movie. Sort of, like RoboCop or Total Recall.
Right. Just it leans more into the silliness. Like,
yeah.
It is a satisfying watch. The lack of an actual grudge match between Ventura and Schwarzenegger aside. But like you do feel kind of good giving it a watch.
Yeah.
It's just like it doesn't have the gravity or the pop cultural appeal of like Terminator 1 or 2.
Yeah.
It is. I think you can take Commando slightly more seriously, if only because nobody is dressed in Christmas tree lights in that one.
Yeah.
But if you liked Commando, this is this would be a solid recommend to go along with it.
Yeah, I'd say so. And actually, funny of you should mention Commando. Same writer.
Okay. Yep. No wonder they're two peas in a pod.
Yeah. Yeah. Steven D'Souza wrote it. He also wrote 48 Hours. He wrote Die Hard, and he was the writer and director of Street Fighter.
Okay, so yeah, all-time great.
Yes.
Right. At least when it comes to popcorn flicks.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie is also on Netflix, and hopefully the remake that's coming out here pretty soon will at least be on par with this one. Although I'm not all that hopeful. I mean, just the way remakes go.
I mean, I'm not the biggest Edgar Wright fan, I got to admit.
And I'm not either. Yeah.
And Glenn Powell, I think it is funny how, I feel like I've seen multiple people have the same general like flow I did, where it's like you watch Top Gun Maverick and you get a little bit of Glenn Powell, and it's like, who's this guy? Why doesn't he have a bigger role?
Yeah.
He's very immediately memorable, despite only having like a very minor part of things.
Yeah.
Then after a couple of years of watching movies with him as the leading man, you just go, when does the stardom kick in? Like, when does the like appeal kick in?
Yeah. When do we see the charisma and the the showmanship, like you would with like Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
I think he might be kind of like the guy who plays Falcon, Captain America, where like he may just not have the leading man appeal, except that in his case, it looks like he should have it. So it's weird.
Yeah, he definitely looks. Yeah, he looks like a leading man, but yeah, yeah, for whatever reason, his same. He kind of has the same problem that Henry Cavill has. If you think about it, they kind of have
Right.
the. It's they should be like they should be like big stars, but it's I don't know if it's the projects they're choosing or the
What I'll
directing
say
they're
is that
getting.
in Cavill's case, I think that he ultimately is a very like my overall take on him. He's ultimately a very nice man
Yeah.
who has a lot of great qualities and is very sincere and is a big muscle bound nerd. But I just don't think he's the best actor.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't usually find him all that interesting in things I watch him in.
The only movie I thought I really the only movie I really liked him in was one Mission Impossible movie he did where he had the mustache. Um,
Oh yeah, the other thing, and I just happened to be watching the trailer for the new Running Man right now.
yeah.
They have fundamentally misunderstood the assignment because, and I had forgotten this from when I'd actually seen the trailer in the theater. I think
Yeah.
um, they actually have him running through a town. It's almost like The Grudge, but like everybody's allowed to attack him. So
Oh.
they don't have the cool, enormous, stupid arena.
Oh.
So yeah, speaking of not understanding the assignment,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, maybe when it drops on streaming, I'll watch it. But yeah, I'm not
yeah,
going to spend money to go to the theater to see it.
agreed. But
But yeah, yeah.
back to our original thing. The original Running Man is good, cheesy fun. So give that a go.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes. Yeah. On currently on Netflix. But yeah, I think we've said all we said. All we've said all we needed to say for tonight.
Indeed.
Well,